You gonna do an intro, by the way?
Oh yeah, I'll do an intro.
Okay, good.
Hello there, and welcome to the grand final of Week 5 ESL Go4 for Company of Heroes 2. You're currently watching Nagano. He's got Russian Cyrillic characters as his name in the UI, you'll notice, because he's against his compatriot Russian clanmates, Jove, as the Brits in the north of Famenville approach. I'm Matt, or AE, and I'm here with Stormless. Hello, Stormless.
Privyat.
Nice.
Which is hello in Russian, I believe. I've been told that that's what it is.
I certainly hope it is.
I've been tricked into cussing to everybody here, but yep, hello, and welcome to what is a great finals. And of course, we've just seen Nagano knock out Barton in the semi-finals in their bracket after a long day of playing. So. And not even just slightly knock out Barton. I mean, Barton, as we all know, who's got this innate ability to cling on to games, really got put down by Nagano in that one at the end. So
by the way, the names Mamka is mother, so it's Mother Jove. That is the acrylic for Jove. So it's Mother Jove, and then it's Father Nagano. So they've gone for like a mother versus father, family clanmate kind of fight here. I see what they're doing. They're the paternal members of their clan, and they're showing it right now. So he pointed out it's acrylic, not acrylic. That's kindly pointed out there. I appreciate that. Kugelvolgen getting beasted by this
Did you say acrylic?
I may have done. I thought I said acrylic, but I might have said
I thought you said acrylic.
I did, yeah, I think I did. I think somebody just thought it didn't for some reason, whatever.
Anyway, let's talk about the map here quickly. So we've got heavy machine gun coming in. The Vickers, of course, is one of the first units that comes on here. The Tommies go and take a very important strategic point, which is covering the fuel point over there. But it looks like Jove's focus is going to be on the left-hand side, trying to get as many resources on that side as possible and harass the right-hand side of Nagano. Of course, Brits have a very slow starting game, so it's very important for him to lock down little bits of territory now and then make that very steady progression as time rolls on. But of course, great denial by Nagano here at the start. He's going to get pretty much almost managed to get double fuel there, but of course nice decap from Jove. Lots of options in the early game.
I agree with you there. I'm just putting Nagano's and Joe's name on the UI so people can actually remember who's who. Unless you listen to us in the first minute, you're not going to be able to work it out. Kugel's been okay. I mean, it's been highly injured in that early game fight, so you can't actually cap at will around the map right now.
No, I think Kugel's a key unit against the Brits, really, especially as their start is so slow. You know, the units that they get, they're slow moving, they have to be in cover to be effective, really. Otherwise the Volks are really going to put them down in the manpower straight away. So Kubel can do some really hard capping left and right, whilst the Brits have to be kind of centered more together to get anywhere at the start. But of course, once the AEC comes out in the field, all of that changes. But that isn't going to come around very quickly, because of course Jove is going for quite a heavy base tier build here. 2 Vickers, 3 Tommies. It's going to allow him to reclaim a lot of the map and actually hold it quite well, which is going to be nice to see.
Yeah, of course, it's a very early game. It's a little bit stuffy. You got pitched engagements left, right, and centre as cover for cover battles wage, or rage rather, whatever.
That's really great play at the moment. Just very careful. Every decision, every movement made by the Brits here is very calculated. He's just playing within his means constantly. Slow bits of territory. He doesn't need too much at the moment. He's still going to get everything he needs.
Look at these Stern Pioneers down there, right outside the Vickers' current firing arc. Oh no, just getting within it now and pushed away hard. Is that going to force an early battle group headquarters with a large amount of health damage on the Stern Pioneers?
Well, battle group headquarters is already going up at the moment, so yeah, we'll do a bit preemptive there, of course, and he's probably going to be wanting to get the ISG out first against the Brits, especially if they do stay in the base tier like this for a long time, because there's no chance of the counter mortar for Brits to come out as the emplacement. So an ISG here would be really nice, especially against 2 Vickers as well. 4-man squads on the Tommies, difficult to get them out of cover without the ISG. So I do expect that we'll probably be seeing that. Of course, it can sit right back at the battle group as well and pretty much cover the fuel in the central VP.
Ooh, when Incendiary Grenade goes in, hearkening that there's been a very quick SWS truck deployment. Already with the Scavenge Doctrine this time, Dan.
Yeah, it's a nice one, I think. I think it's a nice, interesting choice.
It's a very good choice. You get the Ostman, of course, as a great shock unit. And if you're not expecting it, it is certainly that.
It is, yeah. I think maybe, I don't know entirely how that's been picked, but I guess it may have something to do with this constant decapping of the Brits. It's a great idea to be able to fling it out of buildings left and right and just decap a lot of the map from the Brits, because they're slow getting everywhere. That's really one of the problems a lot of people have with them, is to get them somewhere effectively. You do have to play up the map in stages. You can't just run them somewhere and expect them to be successful. They need to be treated very progressively. So yeah, I mean, that's really, really good. The Jaegers just pop out of the building right now and get some shots on the back of the Vickers there. That's probably going to force retreat from both. And again, the Kubel can quick cap everything right now, whilst Nagano pushes back up the map. I think it's very hard for Jove to come around all of that. But of course, with a
infiltration grenades are going to be very powerful indeed against Brits. Obviously, they've always been behind cover or in garrisons or with support weapons like mortar. The infiltration grenades for only 10 munitions can be so powerful.
They really can. Just look at the map control here coming in from Nagano right now. Really, really good. No sign of this ISG yet, which I kind of hope that we will see that soon, but at the moment he doesn't really need it. He could possibly even pop out another squad of Jaegers and be very, very effective at dealing with the Brits on all these range levels. I think, Jove, to me, in my opinion, is going to struggle without the AEC there. This Kubel's going very dangerously close to the AT gun, which is going to get a shot off by the looks of it.
Kubel pushing in, having a little look around. The 6-pounder is a very good AT gun, isn't it, Dan?
It is, yeah. It is a really good AT gun. It's one of the better ones. I'd say it's probably the second best out of all the factions that they do get access to. But I'm just trying to think at the moment right now. Jove is barely any map control really. I get a feeling he possibly should have gone for some kind of earlier tech up.
So he's got his platoon command post, of course. He's got his acquisition of the AEC confirmed. When is he going to have what he needs to deploy it? Is he waiting for... Yes, he's waiting for 340 manpower. That's what he's currently starved of. To look at the prepared position from Nagano, he's got a nice shoe mine behind the sandbag. He's taken cover behind some excellent features around the map, and it's a prepared position. So the AEC's got a lot of work to do when it hits the field.
The thing is, though, that it will do that work, and especially now that Jaeger light infantry's been picked. There's no chance of the snare coming off of Fallschirmjäger now, so the AEC has got a real free roam on everything, and if we can get some engineers out from Jove right now, do some mine sweeping, have a bit of a feel if Nagano has been planting mines, the shoe mines actively, then he's going to be able to use the AEC to really, really good effect, really.
Vickers attaining veterancy, but just lost its gunner to the focus grenadiers behind the heavy cover, and it's going to cause them to retreat. So that's just unfortunate. Sometimes your MG loses that gunner as the first model to die, and then you have to fully retreat that MG. So the Kenverfer did come out. So obviously he is, of course, knowing what's going to hit. It's always the AEC against Brits these days in 1v1.
It just makes sense really to go that unit. I know the AEC is the glue that holds Brits, as a viable faction in 1v1 really, because it does help out so much, and you can see how much of a struggle it is for the Brits without the AEC. It just allows Brits to get some points in the map back and start to tech up properly as they need to. The interesting thing here is, what's the faction? The commander choice going to be for Jove, because it's a big one really. What he's going to choose. I suspect maybe Special Weapons Regiment could be a good pick here.
It wouldn't be a bad one. It wouldn't be a bad one.
It's difficult. I mean, Vanguard gives him some options for keeping the Brits on one side of the field, so he could go a bit heavier on the left and make sure that he's always near his fuel and stuff. But of course, he does leave that to open to attack later on. Special Weapons Regiment, of course, is pretty good, but at least, you know, both of those commanders have access to the Crocodile, which could be, you know, incredibly useful to him later on. Be so careful with the AEC there, of course, because there's a mine right on the victory point.
Surely he should kind of have a sense that there'll be mines around that central area. He knows there's none on the road. That should be enough to give him the traverse he needs to have an area of operation and, you know, push units away.
That being said, you know, he's actually got himself into a really nice position with the Brits now. You know, he has a lot of units that he needs on the field. You know, he got pushed right back to his base, but getting the AEC out in at least still good enough time. You know, look at how much map he's taking back on the right now. He's trying to go to decap both fuels. I think he's possibly a little bit worried about that. Artillery's just been called as well. Brit artillery on there. Escapes with the Vickers as well from that building. Escapes with barely any health left whatsoever.
Mine went off, only killing 2 Vickers models. There's nothing there to really stop it happening either. Here comes the base artillery. Late, but seemingly hitting nothing. So yeah, interestingly now, so we've seen where the Brits tech is going. It's going to be very interesting to see where the OKW player Nagano goes. He's got 205 fuel and counting. It's clear to me that I reckon he's going to wait for that 8 command point Ostwind and try and use that in conjunction with anti-tank fire from his Shreks and his Raketenwerfer.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible and viable that you could do that, but of course you do have the 6-pounder AT gun on the field already, so it wouldn't be completely free reign.
No.
I mean, the AEC could probably do some pretty good damage to it as well, you know, in conjunction with the 6-pounder. It would definitely contribute a lot.
When the patch came, it didn't lose anything. It was just purely a splash damage increase, so it still retains its original anti-vehicle prowess. So it could definitely take out an Ostwind should it get a good few penetrations in, which it almost always would do. It's a strange looking unit as well. Yeah, more Jaegers called in. This time called in this garrison here to take the munitions point. Could have actually taken the fuel or the victory point instead, but he's targeting the munitions. That's interesting. Obviously he's using a lot of grenades right now.
I don't think that's going to be on his mind too much right now, to be honest. I mean, he's had double fuel for so long.
True.
You know, tier 4's up and he's still got 123 fuel. He could bring out the Panzer IV so quickly. It would probably be better than the Ostwind, I would have said. And it's definitely going to come out earlier than the Ostwind. So there's, you know, definitely that option available to him. And again, you know, with only the 6-pounder on the field, there's no snaring units. Of course, you know, Vanguard's been picked now, so no chance of the AT grenades coming from the boys' anti-tank rifle squads.
I think the timing will make up his mind for him, and you're right there. So we'll probably see. Here we go. We got a glider coming down somewhere, which harkens the call of the Vanguard Operations Regiment.
Yeah, hovering around the battlefield.
Yeah, I know. It's like
straight down the center. This one.
Had to take a wide berth. That will allow him to reinforce a little bit away from his base. So not actually a bad option, to be honest, Dan.
No, not at all. And the good thing about it as well is that he can upgrade the medics from that glider, and they can hang around his base as well.
Yes.
Which is obviously one of the really nice points of using it there.
Yeah, good point. So everything retreating now will get fully healed. He won't have to rely on infantry sections with the upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of the most versatile commanders to pick in 1v1, and the good thing as well, you know, so many people using the AEC, you've got the raid operations allowing you to cap strategic points with vehicles and infantry, but quicker as well. You know, so that's just so useful to have that.
What did the AEC hit? So is it just earlier damage, I presume? Strange.
Hit when?
It's just got a health missing. The air landing officer gets pushed away by the Schwer and the infantry in kind. One-man infantry section also getting pushed away. You have Nade possibly coming down on this infantry section in the centre. A little bit delayed, he'll get out of there in time. Surely. Yeah, he dodges it fully. Good move by Jove. He's got a Vickers in that southern VP. He's got to try and focus on those VPs. Danny has lost quite a few now. 210 total. His opponent's only lost 20.
Since Nagano, he does go for the Panzer IV. I could see he had options available for both the Ostwind and the Panzer IV there, and I think he thought about that for a little while and has decided to go with the Panzer IV. So I think that's a good decision. There's nothing really that the infantry, you know, this is a huge infantry and support build, but there's just one AT gun. Trying to think right now what Jove could do really. He doesn't have the tier 3 up either. So very, very limited options to deal with this Panzer IV when it gets on the field.
Panzer IV will also be able. Yeah, that'd be a good point. Although he would be sacrificing DPS on his rifles with Pierce as it stands. The Panzer IV could go toe-to-toe with the AEC as well. That's a good point to consider. If he finds it out and gets a few Shrek shots off as well, it'll be goner. Absolute goner.
We're losing a capture point.
Okay, got Vickers setting up in the north, going to try and push away the Folks Grenadiers. And instead pushes away the Stern Pioneers. That's not a bad choice.
His capping's been really good here. I really like that, using the units that he's got, he's just bouncing, squads left and right constantly here.
Oh, big double loss there. We saw a grenade go in on the infantry there. The Jaegers died. Also, the air landing officer bit the bullet.
We may be losing these engineers on the left-hand side there. He's really not paying attention to those whatsoever. There we go.
Retreating through the fire. Just about surviving.
Oh, they're okay. Here we go. AC's in some trouble now as well. Doesn't pop smoke though.
AC's in dire straits here. It's going to retreat all the way around the bush using superior mobility. Nothing to
look at this. Jove's going back in with the AEC now.
Oh, we can target the rear armor. That's ballsy. Very ballsy indeed. This is ballsy from Jove. Big rear shot goes in.
Yeah, I mean, he could have chased that and maybe even won. I think he had the AT gun lined up on the rear position as it came through there, so he was unfortunate not to get that. But again, AC looks like it's still chasing, and the benefit is he's going to be able to take advantage of the
one shot from either unit and they're down. And also you got Shreks on the field just about. So yeah, it's a dire situation there.
Yeah, I like that he moved the AEC forward because he was clearly lining himself up for the opportunity, if those Volksgrenadiers did retreat. But he made the sensible decision not to use it. But at least it was there, just in case, that needed to happen. I would say at the moment that Jove isn't really sure what he's doing. I mean, obviously knows what he's doing. It seems like he's saving up for tech right now. His units haven't left his base for the last minute, maybe minute and a half. It seems like he's saving up for what I assume is going to be a Cromwell right now. Cromwell would be pretty good here, that would counter quite nicely the Panzer IV, he's still at the AEC as well, so he can still do all that, capping around the map. The nice thing to see is that he's actually managed to outdo all the manpower that's currently on the field from Nagano, so he's actually got the larger army at the moment, and it's only getting stronger with the veterancy as well. Cromwell's just come in, that's on the lineup now too. If you can keep working the AEC around, maybe get the raid operations in and just do some serious decapping in one go, it's going to be very, very difficult for Nagano to actually get back on the map from here.
It is. Nagano does, however, currently have the triple cap. So Jove does have to make the units you've described and the slight advantage that he has in terms of army size, only slight, start working for him. And the Cromwell's going to be key to that. In 20 seconds it's going to hit and he's going to have to make a big push for the VPs. He doesn't want to end up on 170 and with his opponent with a big advantage. The people who've maybe watched all this cast today may have noticed just how many times I talk about VPs. I mean, some people might talk about fuel a lot, munitions a lot, but it is the most important facet of tournament level play. Manpower probably first and foremost, then victory points, I'd say.
Cromwell gun tank ready for action.
Oh, loses Vickers on the right-hand side as well to some infiltration grenades there, so nice. A great one there. And the AEC's in trouble now as well. It's going to be a nice spot for the Cromwell to come in.
It is. The first shot from the Panzer IV, all importantly, misses. AEC can reverse in this position. Here comes the Cromwell, knocking down a tree on its way. Bad camera.
I think he was prepared to dive in quite deep for that.
He was. Fortunately for the Panzer IV, it does deflect a lot of that damage and makes it away. And there was a 6-pounder that finally hits. So it was being spotted for expertly by the Royal Engineers of Jove. Great play there, great synergy of units. Here comes the big, blocky, bulky Cromwell. Rather splendidly misses and hits a tree instead. Here comes Nagano though. He's got 2 Panzer Grenadiers with Panzer Shreks. Sorry, just normal Folks Grenadiers with Panzer Shreks, but they do get suppressed by the Vickers.
Yeah, this is exactly the type of push that you know, Jove has been setting up for really, and he's got everything he needs to lock down all these sectors afterwards, you know. And surprised, you know, he hasn't been using the raid operations. He didn't really feel maybe that he needed to there at all. But, you know, great, just bouncing around with the AEC, you know, trying to keep control of the right-hand side, which he did. You know, Panzer IV dives in, and of course he's got everything there now to defend against it. Nagano is now going in for another Panzer IV, which may or may not be a good idea. I mean, it depends whether Jove is going to go in with something like the Crocodile, or whether he does go for, you know, Firefly or another Cromwell. The Comet could be a good one too. We'll see what his teching is going to like.
Yeah,
no decision on that just yet.
Comet's the best all-rounder the British can field, but it does cost that 200 fuel, and obviously the teching of Hammer to get there, so it's always a difficult proposition.
185.
Really? 185
Yes.
fair dues? Okay. How much does the teching to Hammer cost?
50, I think.
Okay, so it's a lot in general just to get to it. Arguably the best tank that the Brits can field overall pound for pound.
It's certainly worth it though.
It just offers something that other tanks don't. You've got that really good mobility. It's like a miniature Pershing is the way I look at its profile, you know? The Cromwell, the AEC is being repaired. Could they find this Panzer IV in a difficult situation? You know, Dan, I really wouldn't have minded seeing a few Piats here and there. It would have really helped out quite a lot.
Yeah, I guess it would, but I think he's pretty comfortable in what he's doing right now, and also, you know, putting Piats on units does kind of take away their ability to fight off the Volksgrenadiers. You know, they're already a 4-man squad. They need to make sure that really they've got those rifles available to fire back. This is something that, you know, Jeslin made a very big point of when we've seen him play, you know, by actually not upgrading to Panzerschrecks unless he really, really needs to. And obviously the reason for that being is
difficult retreat path down. Sorry to interrupt. They've got a retreat past the air landing officer and the AEC rampaging, destroying them, and the Shrek is not recoverable.
in a nice grenade here going from the commandos in the mid VP. Well avoided though.
Just a little bit of lag on my side. 21, 35, 36, 37.
139.
Yeah, okay. Alright, 47, 48, 49, 50.
I'm 1 second ahead.
Okay, that's fine, just account for it. Oh god, the commando's possibly going down. They could get... No, they do not get them on retreat. It was a difficult situation with that grenade either side of that, what was remaining of the heavy cover wall there. Getting pushed away with... It's only 2-man loss. That is actually good for commandos, so they don't want to lose too many models. They are an expensive unit.
I'm honestly surprised that we haven't seen raid operations used. I mean, with the amount of munitions that Jove has got, it seems like something that would be quite easy to do, so that he could just very quickly cap the left and get his units back into the center and put the pressure on. You know, but he seems to be, although he's doing it quite slowly, he seems to be quite confident in what he's doing.
Yeah, he's doing well indeed. He's currently healing his units. He's going to be able to push into the centre very shortly. Be
careful with a triple vet squad on the left. He does actually hit the retreat button now. It took him a while though.
Surprised that Panzer IV. Oh no, this is the second one, of course. 2 in general though. They're more than a match for this Cromwell. Gonna have to get the hell out of there.
AEC. Whoa, squad wipe there on the fuel.
Oh my god.
Complete wipe. AEC is penetrating the Panzer IV armor, by the way, but it's going to die now, I think. There's no way that this should live.
No, the Vet 2 Panzer IV will block its retreat path, and it's going to die on retreat regardless of smoke. He's also used the Typhoons to try and help out. Nearly killed the Stern Pioneers with the Typhoons. There goes the AECs down.
We've lost a Mark III armored car.
Oh, this is tit for tat battle here. Two Panzer IVs. I mean, what does he go through from here? Is he going to save up and get something quite expensive to try and tango with them? Maybe the Comet, or is he going to go all in and bring on the
British planes targeting the? Oh, okay, it was a dying Axis unit. Basically, just strafed all of its own units.
Oh, the commandos are lunging in. There is a lot of fire in the meantime, though. The Panzer IV wants to get out of there. Doesn't want to tango now. Let these planes have line of sight. both go down in unison, seemingly. Finally. 6-pounder is retreating out of there. I mean, the Schwerpanzer's done its job, Dan. It's kept that fuel for so long now. We've got 2 Panzer IVs to show for it, and possibly something else to come from Tier 4 very shortly. 120 fuel and counting. There you go. There's Relic fixing bugs there. That building did not disintegrate due to the round.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to assess what the next thing he's going to do is. Don't have a mechanized up, so no real chance of a King Tiger or anything like that, but maybe the Panther. The Panther could be a good option if Jove does decide to go for the Comet. I have a feeling, you know, actually it's Anvil, sorry, it's Hammer that is being researched at the moment, so chances are, you know, Jove has timed it very well. He is coming up to 185 fuel already. He will be able to get up to 500 manpower pretty easily, so kind of suggests that Nagano may just stick it out a while and try and get a Panther up as quick as possible. And there's only one AT gun on the field. You know, to put up against a Cromwell and a Comet is going to be very, very difficult with this build at the moment.
Oh, good splash damage from the Panzer IVs there, nearly annihilating that Vet 3 infantry squad. Section rather. So both armies do have. It's surprising to me that Nagano. I suppose it's the 2 Panzer IVs that makes him count for more, but Jove has the better infantry presence, so he is showing that by getting back into the victory point game right now. And as you say, it's all about this next level of tech. I mean, where does the OKW player go, and where does the Brit player go? We currently think Joe's going for Comets, don't we, Dan?
Yeah, I'm very, very sure that a Comet is going to come out straight away. I think it's going to be the first thing that he's going to go for. It's going to allow him to engage the infantry quite well. It's going to allow him to deal with the 2 Panzer IVs and at least stop them from branching in as confidently as they have been. I think that's one of the main things that he probably wants to do, is stop this kind of territory recap. But also, you know, he can afford to put 1 Cromwell on the left side, maybe keep the Comet, the Comet in the mid. You know, so he's just giving himself some good options here by bringing out those 2, you know, mobile and quick tanks. It's going to be 3, maybe 2.5 minutes that Nagano can bring out a Panther. So it's going to get back into even games again, I think.
No, he's getting SWS truck down, so he's probably going to go for King Tiger now.
Oh.
Interesting. I loved your own then. Oh, a King Tiger. Ooh, oh, that's fruity.
Oh my god! Panzer IV has
missed
got an
it.
amazing squad, like 1 shot in green cover, gains triple vet from it as well. That was unbelievable.
What did that kill there? What was that, an infantry section?
Tommies, an entire squad of Tommies in 1 shot.
And then turns around and pushes away the Cromwell. That was a brutal shot, and I'm gutted because I just moved my camera away from it. I was like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't expecting that was going to happen there. They were a little bunched up, but they were standing right behind the green cover at the right angle, so it was just really, really unlucky that that just happened there. But a huge win again for Nagano there in that case.
Ooh, Commandos on the retreat path of the Stern Pioneers. Thanks to the slight nerfs of November, they're not the brutal unit they once were. They're just a highly effective unit now. They once were like this rampaging Northern Irish killing squad. Ooh, this is the 2nd Cromwell done.
Scavenger artillery has just been called on the retreat point. I don't know if Jove has noticed at this point that scavenger artillery is about to rain down on the glider. He needs to be really careful. He may lose some more squads here if he's not careful.
Oh, he was lucky there. It's silhouetted around the glider seemingly, just about noticing in time, and that was lucky. So the Comet's on the field. It's currently taking the southern position, trying to keep that victory point. I've been caught out by the silhouette difference between a Comet and a Cromwell so many times in this overlay. So similar.
Just a longer barrel, really.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, he's got a nice array of trucks here. They're all in a line, a nice pretty line. That is Automatron repairing Pioneers, and his Stern Pioneers Veterancy 2 also helping repair, getting his Panzer IVs in tip-top condition, because they now have to fight against a newly built Comet tank, which is going to be a fearsome competitor indeed. And I predict that Jove will probably save his fuel from this point onwards for the Churchill Crocodile, so he's going to want to be a little bit conservative with what he's got. And here we go, we've got Shreks coming in, we've got the Vet 3 Panzer IV coming in, pushing away the Comet. Not the greatest first engagement for that tank.
There's still some really good pressure put on there. I get the feeling, you know, Nagano seems to be gaining up a lot of veterancy. He's just kiting constantly. That was a strange place to call the airstrike, to be honest.
Yeah, no line of sight either. No line of sight currently, so it's not effective. It will start to attack this. You'll notice it'll attack the Jaeger light infantry now.
Actually did go for the Panzer IV then,
Yeah,
so
how
clearly
did
it's
that
still...
work?
I think there's a little bit of an extended range, you know, beyond what we can see. In fact, yeah, it was still in range. You can see the line glowing on the floor actually goes right up to the strategic point.
Ah.
It's bigger. It's actually a little bit bigger than what we see on the mini-map, I would say.
Okay, I'm with you. Schwerpanzer smashing away at that tank there. Flying tank, rather. Typhoon.
I'll be really surprised, to be honest, if he doesn't go for a Panther. I mean, I think maybe the Mechanized was just there to provide repairs so that the Stone Pioneers could get to work. You know, maybe doing some other things. But the Panther just seems like a better choice. You know, he's got 2 Panzer IVs. He's already got enough anti-infantry wiping power. You know, he needs something to defend them against the Cromwells, really.
Won't a King Tiger... I know it's time you're talking about. Time is the difference. Oh god, here we go. The Panzer IVs are targeting the Comet tank as to a long-range Raketen fire, and the Panzer IVs do the job. Great shots in there. Here comes the Cromwell trying to make amends, but that's a lot of fuel. 185 was it down?
Yeah, that's a huge amount.
People wondering why I went mental with the camera before that. It was to try and find where the plane would land. You can sometimes work it out by the sound of the plane going overhead. Never mind.
Wow, that was a great push from Nagano there. Really, really planned that well. It didn't look like Jove reacted to it in the right way, really. I imagine Jove's getting quite tired right now.
Yeah,
but you know, absolutely great push, and of course with the Raketen there as well, managing to get a pretty decisive blow on the Comet before the Panzer IVs finished it off. But you know, with the veterancy they've got right now, it's very, very difficult. Could probably consider getting another 6-pounder, but of course he's lost the one that he had already.
Yep.
I don't even think that's recruitable.
Oh.
I think that's been blown up.
Brutal assault on the Vickers there from the Panzer IVs, rampaging around the battlefield seemingly. And I just think that Comet was unlucky. The Raketen got it from max distance, and it would have been able to retreat had it not been for that big Raketen shot, in my opinion. So yeah, it was a difficult situation. But, you know, he had nothing backing it up, no 6-pounder. So probably better like unit composition from Nagano at this point, but only because Jove's lost so much. Oh god, the Comet's exposed its rear armour, double penetration.
Cromwell, of course. Comet's dead.
Yep. I did say Cromwell.
Wow, 5-star veterancy now. What's this called on the base? The Scavenger Artillery. This has got to be called GG from Jove right now.
Brutal. Nagano blasting the commandos into non-existence. And he surrenders, does Jove. Great play from Nagano in that game. He's just come from a ridiculous contest against Barton to come play up against his Russian compatriot, and he's just kept the ball rolling, Dan.
Yeah, this is a really, really good game. I quite liked what he was doing with the Brits, but it just... I don't know, it seems like when you don't get that early tech up to the AEC, you really lose a lot of advantages, you know, by waiting, because by the time you had the AEC out, you know, there was acceptable counters on the field for it. And you've got to utilize that thing as early as possible, you know, keep the full map control so that you can actually tech up to things like the Cromwell in good time. You know, he could have gone for more infantry afterwards. You know, and especially with a doctrine like this where you've got raid operations, that actually allows you to have less core infantry on the field and cap just with the same speed. So it actually makes an AEC strategy more viable, because if you are just using infantry, you know, you maybe need the extra amount of infantry to get those huge map caps after forcing retreat. But you know, as I say, raid operations is a huge thing, and it wasn't used there. And I thought, you know, if he used that a little bit earlier on, he could have decapped very quickly, and he could have, you know, gained a lot more resources quick enough to get the tech he wanted. So that being said, you know, he played it really, really well, and it was just a shame that he lost the Comet, really, and a couple of other, you know, really, really vital things that the Brits need. So
in brutal fashion. I just think it was this synergy between this pairing of the two Panzer IVs. They were just so good together. You know, that one Panzer IV shot taken by a Comet or a Cromwell is bad enough, but two, it's absolutely disastrous. So I'm just going to go and restart Go2 just so I get some of my RAM back. I do have 16 gigabytes of it now, but it still gets eaten up om nom nom by the Company Heroes 2 and OBS in tandem. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. We've seen Nagano go 1-0, but I can see it being anybody's game. I mean, they're both really well matched players, aren't they?
Yeah, they definitely are, and I'm actually surprised that Jove lost because in my perception of how I've seen players play, I really feel that Jove has played like incredibly today. So kind of seeing it's like seeing the king fall a little bit. I mean, I know I can't really call him that because he hasn't really won any of the tournaments so far, but you know, he is top one in all factions. You know, that includes the Brits. So you know, for Nagano to
Well, no, he was. He's been pipped now. He
yeah,
definitely
precisely,
was,
but.
yeah.
It's you know it's a big feat. And,
Oh yeah, so much, yeah.
yeah. So I think he's
Well, you know, he's
probably
top,
going to be playing.
He's top of 3 right now, Dan. He's Brits, he's USF, he's OKW. He's only number 2 as Soviet. So what a scrub! What a total scrub! And he's number 2 as Wehrmacht as well. This guy needs to learn to play clearly. But Nagano showing you it's not about ladder ranks in tournaments. It's about how you play and you know, the strategies you utilize and your game sense and knowledge. Because in ladders you can come up against 10 beginner players in a row sometimes. So yeah.
Well, Nagano's counters have been brilliant, like absolutely phenomenal, really.
They really
you know,
have.
against Maxims, against well, I guess maybe he was trying to get up against the AEC quite early on there because I did see that Raketten sneak out quite quickly before anything was really on the field. So, yeah. But the other thing is, you say these guys train together, so I don't know if it's something that they're trying to just throw curveballs at each other, things that they're not specifically, you know, used to. Maybe building extra infantry to throw Nagano off his game. I'm not really sure, but Nagano is extremely potent at counter builds right now.
It's just restarting Co, and then we'll have a look to see if the second game started. We're right in line with this finals. It's a nice feeling that we're not, we're as live as we can be, basically.
Yeah.
It's always good to be. And this has been, I feel like we've got this together now. We're like running like gravy, you know what I mean? We're a smooth, well-oiled machine. A Cassian experience. I'm glad you're so enthusiastic about it also. Let's have a look. I think it's the ESL branding on our bodies, it just makes us so much more efficient.
Themed.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, I'm starting to see a little bit of yeah, I'm starting to see round 1 action going on in NA. I've got some buddies in America and stuff that I speak to, and there I started to see that they're starting to have their round 1 matches whilst we're watching this awesome final. So that's good to see. Very nice. I can confirm that they haven't kicked off in game 2 yet. So, should we do something to entertain the crowd?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Always wary if I ever suggest anything like that. You know who's more game for stuff like this? Magpie. I wish Magpie was here. Just joking.
Yeah, me too. I'm joking. That is a lie. I guess we could do something like I guess we could do like a raffle. Did I say the word that? Did I?
Go on. You've said it, so it's pretty much the
Go on
only thing
then. We'll do the raffle. I'll
Raffle,
sort that
raffle,
out right
raffle,
now.
raffle,
So
raffle.
I'll pop that on. Guys, wait for me to say that the raffle is open before you do this. Otherwise, you will not be counted. Of course, remember that you do have to be a follower of the channel. Otherwise, you will not be accepted as a winner. We will just do the reroll. So okay, raffle is now open. You type !raffle and you will be entered. We've got great list of commanders actually to select from. We've got tactical support weapons regiment for the Brits, tactical support company for the Brits, Firestorm Doctrine, Overwatch Doctrine, heavy cavalry company. There's loads of them, so you can have your pick of the one that you want. If Vuko666 is still in the channel, do check your Twitch messages because I did send you a message earlier. Here we go, chat's going crazy with the raffle.
We're making it not pay to win, we're making it raffle to win, aren't we?
The reason I'm doing this is obviously because so many people probably unfollowed you after that terrible joke about tennis. That hopefully you can get a couple of them back now.
I've got some similarly terrible jokes I can always come out with. I always read them on Reddit and then I tell them my boss and a few of my co-workers, like my fit female co-workers just to make sure they completely don't find me attractive. What was the one this week? It was really bad. I'm going to try and remember it.
So, oops. I'm just updating the scores and the stage now as well. So, oh, of course, no, it was. Nagano,
Oh yeah,
wasn't it?
that's it. My girlfriend's been really unhappy with me recently. She told me, "Listen, I'm sick and tired of you pretending to be a detective. I think we're gonna have to split up." So I said, "Great idea. That way we'll cover more ground." Did you get it?
I get it. So bad.
It's funny.
It's not even a joke. It's
Yes,
like
it is.
more of a it's just more of a statement. This is
It's
a humorous
not.
statement.
That's what jokes are, aren't they?
Don't know.
That was my favourite joke this week. It was good. But if you can't both repulse and embarrass somebody with a joke, I mean, what good is a joke? That's why, you know, dads. That's like a style of parenting, isn't it? Oh, here we go.
People,
I can see.
some people actually enjoyed that. So
It's a really good joke. Like when I always gauge jokes, I always tell them to like 10 people, and you know, I think most people laughed at that one. To be fair.
Kittens and Goats says, "Don't quit your day job," and I say, "Of course, you're assuming he doesn't get fired if you're telling those kind of jokes to your staff members."
Well, my day job
But,
is as an accountant, so you can imagine like first 3 days of the week are talking about what happened in that weekend's football, and then after that it's like I got nothing. We were incredibly boring people. What else can we say to each other? Right, okay.
Shall I do the results of the raffle now, just before we jump in quickly?
Of course you can, my friend. Just
Okay, I'm
accept
gonna
my
do
invite
the
for the
draw.
observer party, please.
Well, I'm not actually in game though, so
Right,
I will
okay.
just quickly announce it.
Sure.
The winner is LintX, Lintsk. I'm gonna whatever it is. LintX. I'm gonna call you. Congratulations, you have won the raffle. You are a follower as well, so I'm gonna announce him as the winner in chat. No rigged comments yet. That's good. Excellent. And I'll send you a message in Twitch very shortly. But right now we're gonna go into the second game in the finals. Send me an invite. Hey. Hello. Where did he go? Gone? Oh, okay. He's gone to the bathroom. Alrighty. Will you guys ever give away ESL shirts? I don't know if we are going to give away ESL shirts. I mean, I don't actually have any. I got given this. I got sent this by the Turtle Entertainment team. I think it come from like Germany or something like that. So Jadrick, please, none of that stuff in chat, please.
What's he been
Almost
doing? Getting his willy out and waving it around.
No.
Could you accept invite, please?
I have.
Good man. Oh,
Just
first
to let you
time.
know.
What about that?
I know, right? I'm telling you, it's getting better.
You've been practicing. Right, okay, let's get in the game, see what kind of cooldown we've got on this. Because I've got some pancakes in the toaster.
Lieutenant Baumi, I kind of like that one because you have to have a knowledge of the French language to actually get it. So that's quite nice.
What did he say?
How do you confuse a French soldier? Give him a rifle and ask him to shoot it.
French
it, yeah?
language? No. Well, it isn't just going on about French.
Well, you know, French language has like le or la, depending on its, because everything, even objects, have a male or female tense. There's no like.
It's not that good of a joke. He's just on about them always surrendering after around World War II, isn't he?
it's like intelligent humor.
That's
Sorry,
not
it went
intelligent.
straight over your head.
I just don't think it was that good of a joke, and I think you found a level that didn't exist within it. That's my personal opinion. Right,
Really?
where are we?
Okay.
Oh, we've got no cooldown. My pancakes, they're gonna burn.
You
No.
can pause.
Okay, we're gonna have to.
if you need to. Okay, well, whilst AE goes and gets his pancakes, then yeah, gaming, bro. I thought it was nice. I thought it was nice there. You know, it's the kind of joke that leaves a load of people hanging, and everyone who secretly gets it's like, yeah, it's cool. So yeah, here we go. It's in the finals. I'd be interested to know, by the way, in chat, whose team you're on. Are you here to support Jove? Because of course, this is one of the first finals I've certainly ever seen him in, actually. So Definitely nice to see him here, straight into the finals. We don't get to see him that often, so hopefully, hitting the finals in this way is going to be a real confidence boost to him. But of course, Nagano already winning in game one. He'll be getting a lot of support from his fans, and of course, Nagano regularly commits to, everything when tournament wise. So gotta love him for that at least. Still a lot of people on Team Von Ivan.
Oh,
Von
right.
Ivan left the tournament quite early, unfortunately.